These little town blues are melting away. I'm gonna make a brand new start of it in old Moscow, Idaho. Who has never been to one of these before? Who is the first? Anyone first-time Hippo person? No? Well, then I will be kind of brief on my introduction. In the past, there were songs. There's one song tonight. Songs are back. So Hippo Lectures the musical tonight. Kind of. Just one, though. I am not going to introduce what I cannot top anything Andrew and Elizabeth do in life, period. So I'm not going to do anything and talk about what the actual topic of tonight is or what the previous have been. But a quick FYI, and again, so wonderful to see familiar faces. You remember the first two parts. This year is our year of St. Augustine, and the Hippo Lectures have been there'll be 6 parts, 3 in the fall, 3 in the spring, about the 2 best-looking people in the world, Mark and Anna, who are former models, and they're enlisted by their spiritual advisor to talk about St. Augustine to the rest of the world. The Hippo Lectures are a space for, I think anyways, like doing the new evangelization in more creative ways. At the Augustine Center, in my role as Director of Intellectual Formation, we have the Spirit and Life series. I do that along with Father Chase. If you're like, I just want straight up ABC nuts and bolts of Catholicism, come to that. We have a wonderful one about Our Lady to wrap up the year, December 4th, Blessed Virgin Mary. We have AMAs every semester, debates, and I have a class I do every Monday, 1:20 to 2:50. Everyone is welcome to come. If you can't make it, I understand everyone's busy. It doesn't mean you're a terrible person, but you are welcome to come. 1:20 to 2:50. We're almost done for this semester. We'll continue in the spring. But the whole point of the Hippo Lectures, again, is to have more creative space to do something that I agree wholeheartedly with G.K. Chesterton. I think this following quote's one of his least known quotes. He said, if you want to get anything in the concrete, you must ask in the abstract. Anybody can come up and just read blah, 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 bot AI style thing. But to have stories, fiction, whatever it is, you can actually get at deeper truths that way, I believe. So Mark and Anna is absurd, over the top, postmodern. However, when we get to the actual talking about what today's theme is, they already have lived that in the course of the story. And the goal too, like I said always, is publication. The Hippo Lectures is a book that came out a year ago. That was just the first compilation of these 24 essays. And then Sarah from the Dust Plague was a 2-part story last spring. So it's the hope too with Mark and Anna that it'll be available wherever books are sold, come like May or something. Without further ado, please welcome the incomparable Andrew and Elizabeth.
Tonight's talk is part 3 of the book, Mark and Anna, Former Models, Reflections on the Timeless Wisdom of St. Augustine of Hippo through a postmodern prism.
Having heard from their spiritual director, Father LeBron, and his instructions considering the city of God versus the city of man, the problem of evil, Mark and Anna return once again to the old Moscow-Pullman Highway for session 3.
Attractions and attachments is the topic for this session 3. The pesky, everyday life stuff, like cell phones, movies, social media, up to the more serious and disordered attachments that, whether great or small, keep us from God.
Oh, did I show you this?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look at that down.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. Look at that. It's
Ooh.
filthy, but look at that down.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. I mean, it's cleanable.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not,
for sure.
I mean, the back's not as good as the front, but it's still pretty
Yeah,
decent.
it's not bad.
I also saw that thing while I was bumming
I
around.
thought I found that.
Well, maybe you did find that
I
one.
think I did.
It's not bad.
Yeah, oh well.
But it's not bad.
Babe, come on, Anna says, pulling out her phone to check the time. She starts tapping on the screen nervously. Our plane leaves in less than 3 hours. You remember what happened with my mom's flight to Atlanta last year? Yep, Mark says, nodding but not taking his eyes off the screen. His fingers move about the controller with the effortlessness of a man deep in familiar territory. It's probably this way for pianists, car mechanics, plumbers. Can do it blindfolded, second nature. Mark is and has been playing NCAA Football 2002, an old college football video game, on the verifiably ancient PlayStation 2 console for a while this afternoon. How long? Impossible to say. He honestly wouldn't even be able to guess. He had had breakfast, 2 bowls of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and was now on a 3rd cup of coffee, milk foamed twice over each time, lots of squirts of that bare bottle honey, sipping every now and then, but otherwise staring at the screen, playing. No, working, yes, perfecting his craft as the minutes passed into hours, the hours themselves bundled together. Mark, Anna says, standing there in the doorway. Man, she looked good, Mark thought. Not that he was going to be taken away from the work, even by her, but each time he laid eyes on her, his dominant emotion was gratitude. She was so terribly, ridiculously, even pathetically good looking, always. He knew how lucky he was, and what a double blessing, to be blessed and to be aware of being blessed. Babe, she says again, now with noticeable impatience, almost whining. I mean it, I'm serious. We should have left 15 minutes ago. You know how traffic can be? My mom had to be rerouted through, like, Pensacola or something. Like, ew. All because she showed up late. Come on, let's leave. Mark exhales. Okay, baby, okay. Still focused on the work, hands operating the controller like a mechanic closing the hood on his 42,885th successful oil change. All that's left to do is ask the customer if he wants a receipt and affix that sticker on the inside of the windshield. Anna simply does not understand. There are less than 2 minutes left in the game, and it's the final game of the season before the Bulls start. He can't just turn off the console. All his progress will be lost. Mark's virtual Idaho Vandals are 11-0, about to be 12-0, and ranked number 1 in the nation. A trip to the Rose Bowl for the national championship is all but assured, but he has to finish this game. It's Vandals 105, Fresno State 7, a minute 52 left to go in the 4th quarter. Mark's creative player super team, his 6'10", 360-pound quarterback, he be one of them ones. First name, he be. Last name, one of them ones. And his star, 7'1", 400-pound, but 4'2", 40 speed wide receiver, first name Degambi, last name So Cooked, have teamed up just in this game for 702 yards and 13 touchdowns through the air. I'm serious, Anna says, now all but pleading. Please, let's go, please. Okay, Mark says. Okay, you're right, just frantically, in an inward, internal sense, scanning his options to run out the necessary time and save the game, but also appease his wife, who's actually in the right, and wants him to just unplug the stupid game now and leave now, because they should have left long ago. I need to go to the bathroom. 2 minutes, I'll hurry. I'll wait for you outside, she says. Mark makes a start for the bathroom. He waits. He hears Anna exit the house, returns to the console, tries kneeling the ball, but stupid Fresno State calls a timeout both times. It's 105-7, you idiots. Stop stalling. Don't you know how angry my wife is going to be? You morons. And so on 3rd down, Mark does the most sensible thing he can think of to finally end the game. He puts Hebe one of them ones in a shotgun formation, 5 wide receivers, all go routes, and upon receiving the snap, makes him sprint backwards towards his own goal line. There he pauses, then up the field, up the sideline, back and down both sidelines, and so on, until the clock hits triple zeros. This could hypothetically and theoretically go on all day. Mark is playing on the easiest setting, fatigue is turned off, and one of them ones, just like So Cooked, has 4.2, if not 4.1, or even 4 flat 40 speed, so it'll go on like this for a long time. But because Fresno State had the temerity to call timeouts twice, when all Mark wanted to do was end the game like a gentleman, he has his quarterback take off from the 5-yard line, showboating midair, as he clips the pylon with an outstretched arm, football extended, on a final dive into the end zone, Idaho Vandals 111, Fresno State Bulldogs 7. Mark saves the game. Mark joins Anna outside. Mark and Anna leave for the airport. They made it on time, failing that but 5 minutes late. What ensued next is so ridiculous, so stupid, so dumb, so seemingly made up, absolutely did not happen, except for the fact that it did. No way it actually happened. No way. No, really, no way. But yeah, it really did. You're telling me no, come on, there is no way. I mean, stop. There is no way. Not in a million years. But wait, it did. It really did happen. So much like that, all that all pass by without comment and pick up the story after their flights back to Father LeBron were successfully completed and they found themselves in the old Moscow Pullman Highway yet again. Okay, I'll tell you. but only the facts and as brief as I can be. Mark and Anna arrived at the airport, but due to the chaos of feeling like they were going to be late, forgot to use the special side entrance. Panic ensued. "Look, wow, no way, it's Mark and Anna," was the kind of catch-all general response as crowds flocked around them trying to get a picture, even a glance. The ever-growing but still manageable crowd quickly swelled to unmanageable proportions. Gates 35 to 39 in Concourse B, which are supposed to be taking people to Cincinnati, San Antonio, Phoenix, Dallas, and Seattle, respectively, emptied en masse, as a mass of people began to clog the doorway where Mark and Anna had first been spotted. Gate attendants, too, they wanted to see the stars. And once the pilots themselves made their way back down the jetway into the crowd, a full-blown crisis was on hand. Problems begat problems as more and more people pushed closer and more kept fainting. The Hayburn front desk effect, as it was being called, from the sight of Mark and Anna's truly dangerous beauty. One guy could not help himself and just started singing George Strait, "You Look So Good in Love," to Anna and Mark. "Oh, how you sparkle, oh, how you shine. The flush on your cheeks is more than the wine. And he must do something I couldn't do. Whatever he's doing, it looks good on you. You look so good in love. You want him, that's easy to see. You look so good in love. I wish you still wanted me." Mark turns to the man and says, "Dude, what the hell was that?" The guy, "Not in a million years. Still wanted you? Never. You guys would never, ever." The guy starts crying. He bursts into tears. Anna, ever compassionate, walks over to him and says, "I thought that was really sweet. Would you like a photo, an autograph? Would that make it better?" Yeah. Luckily, Mark was always good at thinking on his feet. He dumped out the contents of 2 recently purchased bags from the newspaper shop, but a few steps away. 2 magazines, 3 bags of Skittles, 2 packs of bubble gum, and a Snickers bar. Mark and Anna always shared a Snickers bar when traveling together. And he put one bag over Anna's head and the other over his. The storm broke. People stopped fainting. The crowd staggered out of its stupor and regained something like a general bearing. Too late for Cincinnati. That flight was supposed to have departed 45 minutes ago. Seattle, too. Needless to say, the offending pilots, gates, and flight attendants got quite the earful from higher-ups in the FAA later on. "I don't care if the Easter Bunny is walking hand-in-hand with Santa Claus at the airport, Anderson," one of these FAA bigwigs says, yells into the conference call transmitter at one of the pilots, a no-nonsense professional of the highest order, John Anderson, a no-accidents, no-incidents logger of thousands of hours of commercial flight time following a decorated career in the United States Air Force. "You stay at your post. I can't believe I am reprimanding someone like you over this, over exiting and about to push off airplane to go see some stupid movie stars." "She's not a movie star," Anderson says. "She's a model." "Anna Davenport," Anderson says. "DuPont," another pilot says, correcting him. "She married Mark DuPont. He's also a model." "She's a model," Anderson says again. "Look, you're right, of course, it won't happen again, but she's her. She's the one, the model, okay?" The FAA CEO or HR or whatever guy on the other end of the line says nothing. Soon the line goes dead. Anna and Mark board the plane. To avoid a repeat of the pre-boarding process, they get to sit up front in the cockpit with the pilots. These are serious men, Air Force trained, combat tested, and can handle the sheer shock factor of Mark and Anna's impossibly good looks. There will be not fainting or any kind of that nonsense up here. A little over an hour into the flight, Mark turns to ask Anna a question. She ignores him. He keeps trying to get her attention, but she's locked into a screen, the pale glow of the blue light lighting up her face, her eyes darting across the screen time and again. Mark tries a last time, nudging his wife on the shoulder. "Hey," she says. "What? What's up? What is it?" "I want to tell you something," Mark says. "What?" But now, looking away from him again, eyes back on the screen. "Ah, I see," Mark says, laughing. "So when I'm playing some stupid dumb video game, it's like, oh, baby, stop, baby, let's go, we have to leave. But then here's you sucked into Pinterest like you always get. Oh, it's okay when you do it, I got it. This is different, Anna says, still scrolling. How? Because we're not late for a plane, that's how. Mark laughs. Okay, whatever you need to tell yourself. Now Anna laughs and closes the screen. What did you want to tell me? I wrote a rap song about you, Mark says. I've been working on it the whole time, the whole flight. Do you want to hear it? Anna says nothing, but she keeps looking at him, and so Mark dives into the first few verses. One shoulder shimmy from Anna, then a second. That's all Mark needed to see. That was all the feedback validation he needed. She was loving it. Okay, let's get it then. And so he did. Mark launched into the full lyrics with gusto. Anna stood up right there in the cockpit and started dancing full on. The thing about Anna Nee Davenport, now DuPont, forever and evermore, is that she is not just a great model. The best, yes, hands down. But a good cook, speaks perfect French and Spanish too, yep. Look, this girl can really, really dance. Anna can do the two things most important in dancing. Execute the moves with fluidity, but also, and just as important, in rhythm with the music that is serving as background and foundational bass. Anna is dancing in perfect rhythm to Mark's rapping, and Mark, seeing how much his wife is loving it, is getting more into it with each and every line. The lead pilot is the one and same John Anderson. He's unaffected, eyes ahead, focused on the task at hand. Sincere in his intention that he'll never have another lapse of judgment on the job ever again. So he's good. But the co-pilot, he's been locked in since Anna first stood up. He's been hype manning Mark with, okay, yeah, stuff like that. It's actually working really well from a musical auditory reception perspective. Then, despite this being a night flight, he puts on sunglasses, low-rides his pilot cap over those sunglassed eyes, and starts dancing while seated in the interesting fashion of hands crossed at the wrist, rotating back and forth out front, extended. The flight lands safely not much later on. The connector goes ahead with precisely zero drama. In boarding, in flight, all. Anna sleeps through the whole second flight. Sometime there during, Mark puts a blanket over her to keep her warm and kisses her on top of the head, and himself drifts off to sleep. They wake by way of bright lights overhead directly to the face, the eyes, the what time is it? Rental car waiting, they push that button, make those turns. And before they know it, they find themselves crunching along the most beautiful dirt road in these United States, the old Moscow-Pullman Highway, on their way to the secret restaurant where not long after their first date, they were married. On their way to see their spiritual advisor, the one and only, by God's grace, good, Father LeBron. The power of America would, by God's sovereign grace, never be overturned, like proud Ilium fallen. And all of Caesar's once grand Rome smoking from the ground, this the highest one in his providence was pleased to allow. See we, Mark and Anna, driven by divine commands and signs to sail in search of fields of exile. Yes, behold, these endless lentil hills, this well-milled gravel, the high blue skies, have made once distant and deserted lands familiar. The old Moscow-Pullman Highway, a second home, second to none, as by terms of beauty we judge and frame and hold on to, even when only by memories are our access points permitted. We aim to build a fleet of theological arguments and helps. This book that Father LeBron has assured us one day will see the light of day in the lentil hills of the fertile Palouse, knowing not where God's providence will carry us or where we are to settle, and there we gather up our men, maybe other models like us, maybe not like us. Time and God's time will tell. No sooner was summer come upon us than my father and Anna's mother bid us spread out sails to the falsely called fate that is in truth God's will. Anna, weeping, declared she must forever give up the shores and harbors of Mobile Bay, of South Alabama, into the rivers and hamlets of her very own Kingdom of Tennessee, where thrice the crown was placed reverently upon her head, even in absentia. Mark, he too declared that Concordia, Kansas, that which was my home, those great plains of corn and sunsets and tornadoes and summertime hail, I bid thee farewell as long as God might require. And they had done that, the sweet bonds of holy matrimony and new life, together. Approaching the secret restaurant yet again, Mark and Anna couldn't help feeling that as exiles banished somewhere east of Eden, we go out across the waters, yet together as best friends, as man and wife, as models. Out across waters of doubt and faith, but ever assured that trusting in him, God, we will have trusted well. What's up, homies? Father LeBron says, walking up to Mark and Anna and giving them each a hug. How's your trip? Good, Mark says. How are you? Excellent. Come on in. I'm on my last set. I'll hit that. We can eat and get down to business. It's midnight, Mark says. Yeah. Father LeBron says, yep, I do my best lifting after 10 p.m. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Have been deadlifting for almost 2 hours now. Come here, check this out. They follow Father LeBron to his makeshift gym behind the restaurant. It is a Bulgarian method, Eastern European Olympic lifter's architectural dream. Think Rocky, think Drago, think Arnold, the 1977 documentary Pumping Iron. Think excellent, class level, A+ bar and bumper plates and a fantastic lifting platform. But think also, you're outside. The smell and sight of the old Moscow-Pullman highway. Think the moon and moonlight. Think about dreams dreamt. Think goals and goals fulfilled. And think, maybe most of all, about a lone animal somewhere out there howling and bugs buzzing and weights clanking and random chairs and broken pipes and empty milk cartons and yellow flip pads filled up with blue ink. Think about the payoff afterwards in terms of the food to be eaten afterwards. Father LeBron hits 775 pounds for a triple, each rep clean and controlled. What a monster, Mark thinks. What a beast. The three sit down to a scrumptious dinner. Father LeBron cooked it all in advance and had it waiting, covered, heated, waiting for their arrival. London broil, potatoes and carrots, cubed and mashed, cooked asparagus and almonds to sprinkle on top. Idaho huckleberries that you can buy roadside all throughout Idaho. They ate huckleberries with zero decorum, like animals. Hand to mouth, hand to mouth, hand to mouth, again and again. French onion soup beforehand, and for dessert, well, Anna, she brought dessert. And it's a dessert that cannot really be described or categorized. By categorized, what is meant is genreified, but they eat it. They ate all of it, everything of everything, and drank a few mugs, the foam falling over the edges of the mugs of beer, and some coffee with the dessert too. They eventually looked at a digital tableside clock and saw it was 2:11 a.m. Father LeBron opined that perhaps they should all get some sleep and do the spiritual advising thing first thing in the morning, but Anna said she was not tired, and Mark said he was not tired, and Father LeBron laughed and said, no, me neither. And so they decided, basically, let's get to it then, right now. Today's lesson is attractions and attachments, Father LeBron says. Your whole trip here has been a lesson in itself. By the way, he says, anticipating the next question, I can read souls. Some great saints throughout history have been able to. I'm not saying I'm that, far from it. In fact, Lord Jesus Christ, Son of living God, have mercy on me, a sinner. But God, for whatever reason, in his providence, has deigned to give me this gift and something like, he starts snapping his fingers to find the right words, something like knowing things outside my immediate sense perception field of vision. I saw, if saw is the right word, your whole trip. And so I want to begin this lesson by analyzing it in the light of attractions and attachments. Wait, Mark says, visibly angry. You what? You can see all we're up to all the time? Like if I'm having a bad day and I'm stuck in traffic, I'm like F-bomb, 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 F-bomb. You can see that, hear that? No, you idiot, Father LeBron says. Being called an idiot makes Mark laugh out loud. No, Father LeBron continues. I'm your spiritual advisor, right? You've asked me to help you by God's grace go closer to God. God allows me to see only that which is needed for the process of helping you to. You're special. I told you about how good your book is going to do. You're both going to help people a lot. And in the only way that matters, getting them closer to God, helping them on the road to heaven. But you have to complete this training, if you want to call it that. We've talked about the city of God versus the city of man, the problem of evil. You have those two lessons. And Anna, my compliments once more. Excellent note-taking. Anna smiles and taps her notebook with her pen a bunch of times. Today we're discussing attractions and attachments, Father LeBron says. So can we get to it? Mark and Anna nod. Your trip. Case closed. Perfect study in attractions and attachments. Mark, wow, 8 hours of playing video game college football? Are you serious? Are you for real? Cut that in half and use the 4 other hours for good and productive stuff, and your 4 hours playing a video game would still be 4 hours too much. You want to unwind, relax, fine. I'm not saying a video game is worse than smoking a cigar, watching a movie, walking a dog, playing cards, whatever. But maybe just play one game. Let one of them ones find so cooked, deep 5, 6, 7 times, beat a team 100-0, then turn it off. Break free from this. Anna's not wrong. Very, very stupid attachment. And Anna, now pointing at her, Mark's absolutely right about you in Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. 6 hours doom scrolling, what's the best granite countertop? Now, you might protest and say doom scrolling only refers to mindless robotic consumption of negative news. Wrong. 6 hours of scrolling anything without a break is always deep in the doom scroll dive. For granite countertops, 10 minutes should be sufficient. Half an hour if you're a moron. And then look at these poor people mobbing you at the airport, attracted by your model personas to the point of sycophantic attachment. How many of these people could be better fathers and mothers, husbands and wives, bakers, accountants, downtime relaxers, if they tended the garden of their own business, instead of insatiably seeking the next celebrity sighting? St. John of the Cross said, and he was right, boy was he ever. It does not matter if a bird is tied down by a chain or a piece of thread, either way it cannot fly. We must be attracted ultimately to nothing but God. We must prefer nothing to God. Robert Cardinal Sarah wrote a great book getting right to the heart of this matter, God or Nothing. All things that exist, as St. Augustine so beautifully explained, are good, because all God made is good. Evil, as you learned last time, is nothing but the absence of good. All things that are good. Video games, properly used with detachment, are good. Granite countertops, social media, properly used, good. And how good are those we love, our family and our friends? But meditate on what Christ means when he says, unless a man hates his father and his mother, he is not worthy of him. What he means, I dare say, is that unless we love nothing before him, similar to how the first commandment commands us to love nothing and no one before God, God first and God above all, we will not be doing it properly. We will be sinning, ensuring our own misery, falling short of the goal. Conversely, put God first, make God your center in all, seek first the kingdom of God, and then, as the 6th chapter of St. Matthew's Gospel tells us, everything else will be added unto you. That's the whole lesson of attractions and attachments, guys. All things that are good because God who made them is good. God wants you to enjoy things, but in a good way, with proper detachment. Look at the fruit of the third joyful mystery, the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. It is detachment from the world. Mark, it is amazing, incredible how much you love Anna and how devoted you are to her and she to you. But you both must hate each other in comparison to God. Be detached from all save for God, attach fully to God, be attracted to nothing more than God, the source of all attractive things. God first, last, in between. Now, Father LeBron takes a drink of water, then pulls out a beer, pops the top, and chugs it frat boy style in 2.9 seconds tops. He shakes his head like a dog coming out of the river, grabs another beer, same results. Now, let's conclude by hearing some quotes from the man himself, Augustine, the spiritual advisor of your spiritual advisor. All of us taught by the one sole source of wisdom himself, for he is wisdom himself, Jesus Christ. Some quotes from Augustine, 7, about the nature of attachments, varied attachments, and maybe even how to overcome them. I'll quote them as they are, apart from any of my analysis, the sole exception being the first one. It's about resentment, clinging to resentment. So when you hear it, add, if you'd like, attachment to it. Hear resentment, and likewise throughout. Number 1, resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Number 2, this is the very perfection of a man to find out his own imperfections. Number 3, beauty is indeed a good gift of God, but that the good may not think it a great good, God dispenses it even to the wicked. Number 4, the desire for fame tempts even noble minds. 5, as to those feebler spirits who, though they cannot be said to prefer earthly possessions to Christ, do yet cleave to them with a somewhat immoderate attachment, they have discovered by the pain of losing these things how much they were sinning in loving them, for their grief is of their own making. 6, God is always trying to give good things to us, but our hands are too full to receive them. 7, a good man, though a slave, is free, but a wicked man, though a king, is a slave, for he serves not one man alone, but what is worse, as many masters as he has vices. As he has vices, Father LeBron repeats, or we can say as he has attachments. As many masters as he has attachments. So to truly close, if you're looking for advice from Augustine on how to properly moderate all attachments and attractions, I direct you to that teal-covered copy of the City of God, pages 436 through 440, chapter 4, book 19, on what we call the cardinal virtues, to wit, quote, I speak especially of temperance, which must bridle our fleshly lusts, if they are not to drag our will to consent to abominations of every sort. Prudence. Is not this virtue constantly on the lookout to distinguish what is good from what is evil, so there may be no mistake made in seeking the one, avoiding the other. Justice, to see that to each is given what belongs to each. Fortitude is not its very function to bear patiently with misfortune. Overwhelming evidence that human life is beset with unhappiness, however wise a man may be. End quote, St. Augustine of Hippo. And the only way out of this obvious unhappiness, Father LeBron says, this general depression and deflation, is Jesus Christ, the way, the truth, and the life, in you, pointing at Mark and Anna. You're going to help people find that path, find Christ and his church. Father LeBron stops talking. He had been standing. He sits down. They started this whole spiritual advising session past 2 a.m., and now the sun is slowly coming up on the old Moscow-Pullman highway. Not as clear nor as nice as it could/would be, because it is raining, and has been raining hard. I wonder what the drive back to the airport is going to be like, Anna says. Like if the road's going to be too soupy, mushy, that kind of thing. Oh, it'll be mushy all right, Father LeBron says, but you guys aren't going anywhere. Not for a little while anyways. Mark exhales. We have a connector to Seattle this afternoon, then another one before the final leg home. Nah, Father LeBron says. Mark exhales again, snaps his finger and says, you know, don't you? This is that, I can read, I can see, this is that thing, right? Father LeBron smiles and opens a little cream packet into his just made coffee. There really is nothing like the smell of coffee in the morning. Yep, Father, Anna says, clutching her notebook to her chest. You mean we were staying here with you? Yep. Would either of you like a cup of coffee? No? It's very good. It's hazelnut mocha. Okay, fine, suit yourself. For how long? Anna asks. Oh, now, not that long. Not really that long at all, but you know, Mark says, stepping forward. You actually know how long, like how many days or how many hours, how many? Yep. So how long? Nah. You're not going to tell us? Nope. Why? I don't feel like it. Father LeBron now pours a second cream packet in. Don't worry about it. I told you, God has a plan. Look outside. It's going to rain cats and dogs and cats, elephants, pterodactyls. You're not going anywhere. Then, all of this rainfall is going to freeze. The old Moscow-Pullman highway is going to experience a mini brief ice age. 4 horsemen are going to show up. We'll talk. We still have chastity, proto-Protestantism, and time, especially the eternal now, to discuss. Then it will happen. And it's going to be awesome. You're going to dominate. And for the final time, by God's grace, help a lot of people grow closer to God. Just tell me if this is the end times or not, Mark says. Why do you have to go full dumbass? Father LeBron says. No. Full dumbass? Mark counters, full dumbass. Me. You're a priest whose freaking name is LeBron, and you look 95 years old, but you have the athleticism of 20-something Olympic athlete. You can also read minds. You're telling us we have to stay here, and there's going to be an ice age, and 4 horsemen are going to show up. 4 horsemen. I'm going full dumbass? That's literally in the book of Revelation, that phrase. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Father LeBron takes a sip of his coffee. Oh, you're right, my bad. I apologize. I totally see your point. Still, no. No, it is not the end times. But it's going to be cool, and all I'd say is, stay tuned. Father LeBron hands Mark a cup of hazelnut mocha. Ooh, this is good, Mark says. I know, Father LeBron says. It's lit beyond belief. Mark nods. It's so fire, so lit, Father LeBron says. This coffee. It's like when the University of Illinois Fighting Illini football team many years ago tried to get recruiting hype by claiming their team resided in, quote, Liddyville. Then they opened that season, whatever that season was, by almost losing to like Toledo or something. And man, the fans were so angry. Like, wow, we come up with this really cringe Liddyville thing. And to back up that swagger, you gotta be like the Miami Hurricanes, the early 90s or 2000s, the U, that kind of thing. But here we're going full swagger and almost losing to Toledo. But this coffee is actually Liddyville. Mark nods again. Mark refills his cup and will soon be on to a 3rd, maybe a 4th. Anna is standing alone by the window looking out at the rain coming down in sheets of rain. Her mind wanders to the book of Genesis. She hears the words bubble up inside her as if on their own. In the 600th year of Noah's life, on the 17th day of the 2nd month, on that day all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened, and rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights.